I am assuming a lot of bags. That's why. You know, rich people stealing money, getting to the airport, trying to leave the country. Anyway, hi there. Thank you for submitting your essay for assessment at IELTS Juice. The rubric says, in the future, people may no longer be able to pay for things in shops using cash. Please pay attention to the wording. People may, it's not clear, may no longer be able to. So it's, even if they want it, they cannot. If they have cash, imagine you have cash in your hands and you want to pay for a bottle of milk, this is money, but the cashier is not going to collect it from you because you can't. Imagine that level. You will no longer be able to pay for things in shops using cash. All payments may have to be made by card or using phones. So you either pay with a plastic card, debit card, Visa card, MasterCard, American Express, whatever, or you use your phone. Yeah, that easy. You use, for instance, Apple Pay. Now, the essay type actually has two questions. It says, do you think this will happen one day? That's the part I said there's may here. So IELTS wants to check, do you agree with this? I mean, is it within the possibility? Do you imagine one day we will have such a thing? Do you see yourself 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 5 years from now, that everybody is just paying without having anything physical in their hands to exchange for the goods that they're buying? And then the second question, why do you think some people might not be happy to give up using cash? So IELTS is assuming some people will resist, will not like this method, and wants you to say the reason. It doesn't say the reasons, so you can come up with just one reason, and it would still be fine. But it's safer to come up with two, but again, no extra marks. So what reason or reasons are there behind the feeling of resentment or dissatisfaction from these people? Those are very interesting questions, and they're relatively different from each other. In such cases, the rule of thumb says devote at least one paragraph to each question. So really, each question deserves a paragraph. That is why there is a line between them. You see, each question comes in a separate line. IELTS wants you to also address them in a separate fashion. Each question deserves a paragraph at least. That is the message IELTS wants to give us. Let's continue with the response. In recent decades, technological advances have facilitated transactions so that major purchases are made. You make a purchase using electronic payments such as phones or cards. Again, you generalize. I need to explain one by one. First, we are generalizing. It's the very first sentence of your essay. You cannot say the. I understand why you are saying the. You think that we are referring to transactions here mentioned in the question. There is no connection between the question and the essay. Your essay must be standalone. You cannot say, based on the question above, I am answering. Don't do those things. The assessor has a separate chart. They just see your response. They already know which rubric they're assessing and they're scoring. And on the other side, there is a scoreboard where there are some numbers and check marks that they go through. It's a system. And they spend only 5-7 minutes on your response. So they already know in their heads what they're assessing. Do not make references to the question. The question is just there for you. That's the question. You are not interacting with the question. The question is there, but you make your essay stand alone. And you present it as if I have no information about this rubric here whatsoever. I don't know anything. Do not make references. If you're going to introduce, that is why this paragraph is called introduction. You need to introduce the whole thing for the first time. That is why the name is introduction. Otherwise, this would be like continuation of the question. So there's no point in calling it introduction. And these are, again, you generalize cards because card is countable. Some argue that cash payments will soon be, this is called mid-position. So the adverb comes in the middle after the auxiliary verb, before the main verb. The main verb here is diminished, be diminished altogether. Cash payments, plural, generalize. And people can only buy things via electronic payments. You see, exactly. This is generalization. I am of the opinion that the cash payment will fade away. Fade is an intransitive verb. So there is no passive voice. Look it up. Look, every time, check these words up in an English to English dictionary. No other dictionary will be able to give you the information I'm giving to you right now. So please make sure you look it up. This essay will also explore, I really don't like when we say this essay. It's just a feeling, nothing wrong, just I don't like this. This essay will also explore some contributing factors why some people do not, this is good, do not want to abandon cash in their daily businesses. Okay. Abandoning cash is not a good collocation, but it's an okay collocation. It means I understand it's not very common. You don't abandon your cash. It's it's not like your child, you abandon it. But maybe at the airport, yes. If you abandon some cash, the police might confiscate it, actually. I am assuming a lot of bags. That's why. You know, rich people stealing money, getting to the airport, trying to leave the country. Anyway, to begin with, people can benefit from faster transactions if they choose e-payment method, or e-payment methods may be better. I think another S is needed here because this is for the first time. Why are we saying the e-payment method? Why is it there? I have this issue that in a very first sentence, when we need to introduce a new thing, we keep saying the, as if everybody knows everything we're talking about. If everybody knows everything, then why are we talking about it? That's the whole point. The money can be, now this de is not the specific money. You're talking about the concept of money as a whole. So this de is different. The money can be virtually transferred, spelling error, to the seller. Again, the concept of a seller, from the customer, the concept of the customer, in a split second, resulting in saving time for both parties involved, good grammar, in the business, the concept of business. Everything has the in it because it doesn't refer us to anything. We're generalizing. We're talking about the concept of a seller, of a buyer, of a business. This was also a very good collocation. Moreover, e-payment is more secure and trackable in case a fraudulent transaction occurs. I like that. There is, I guess there are too many ands. There's and, that's why we suggested a semicolon. The bankers can easily the bankers involved in that fraudulent transaction, I guess. Again, it's very, very risky. Can easily prosecute suspicious cases of theft and protect their customers. Oh, okay. Bankers prosecute? Really? I thought prosecutors have legal rights to find criminals. Bankers prosecute? Maybe, maybe. I love the word prosecute. Anyway, suspicious, good word. Theft, very good word. I'm still trying to analyze in reality, would it occur or not? It might. It might. However, for cash, it's uncountable. There is no tracking or even security. On the other hand, governments no longer need to allocate substantial funds to print cash for their citizens, leading to saving resources. For example, in 2009, you need to shift the comma to after 2009. The US Army conducted research on the vulnerability, spelling please, of cash versus e-payment, and found that e-payment is a far more secure type, because of type, of money transferring methods. So maybe another S like this one is needed. Good example, very good development. So we realized that this scenario can happen. People benefit from it. So this scenario in your mind is similar to what IELTS presented. The underlying reason why some people are reluctant to use the e-payment method is that they want less control. So you're saying one reason, which is fine. In other words, they do not want to give clear information about their expenditures to tax agencies, which can be tracked because, we should continue, because creates a complex structure, because they believe that cash can help them to have freedom of choice and keep their information private. I understand, because I don't want anybody to know what type of milk I drink in the morning, because when you go shopping, you use your plastic card, it says you purchased a bottle of milk for this price today on this particular shop in this location in this neighborhood. So yeah, I understand that. They believe that cash can help them have the freedom of choice and keep their information private. For instance, according to Madrid officials, above 90% of butchers who were identified as illiterates did not approve of using e-payment machines, even for free. Yes, butchers are not government officials. They do not approve things. They don't have a stamp that they just approve on a piece of paper. They approve of an action, meaning whether they agree, they show support, or they disagree. It's not a formal act. It's just you either approve of some behavior or not. To sum up, although there are some thoughts against using e-payment due to confidentiality reasons by some people, or if it is just one reason, you could say to the confidentiality reason mentioned above by some people, I believe that such an electronic payment will be the prime choice in the near future, as it brings a fast and secure way of transaction. It is likely that governments will invest substantial funds to accelerate the e-payment infrastructure. Very good sentence, very good conclusion. I'm happy with the structure in general. 342 words, a lot of efforts. We just had too many errors. let's look at the band descriptors. All right. Okay, I like the overall vibe here. Let's just first say that, yes, there's a variety of complex structures. I really liked it. There is adequate range, maybe a little bit even towards sufficient. I guess we have some sufficient language there. Just I'm not sure if they are exactly relevant to the topic. That's why. And maybe you can get a 7 here, but that would be a little risky. Like prosecution here in this context, suspicion or suspicious activities. Again, they show you have a good range. So maybe this can be 7, but still, because of some errors, the score doesn't change. And there are attempts, we acknowledge, IELTS acknowledges that there are attempts to write words, but they are not always accurate. Accuracy matters. So it's important that we know which words we are using, why we're using, and we know these words in spelling and collocation and context are going to be used accurately. I like the rest. Again, this referencing issue was there. Too many ands. There was just overuse of and here and there. I needed to change even one and to semicolon just to improve better communication. You know, punctuation is scored under grammatical range and accuracy. And there is a task response, presents a relevant position. It's not repetitive. The conclusion is not unclear either, but you could give us, it's just one step away from telling us exactly why those people were not happy. All in all, 6, this has the potential to get even higher, but there's still way to 6.5. So it's not exactly 6, but there is still some effort needed for it to get to 6.5. If you wish to see the improved version of this, the link is provided. It's on the IELTS Juice website. Do check that out. And I hope I'll be assessing better essays, or maybe you wish to send task 1s later on. Take care.